I interviewed a firm not so long ago called Virgo Health, two very successful founders, and they two women, they grew the firm, and they with firms, once you get beyond about 30 employees, it becomes more of a bureaucratic monster. You have to have levels of management, you have to have systems, you have to have measurements, you have to have all these meetings that are sort of looking at the finances. They took an active, although there was constant demand for their work, they took a strategic decision to actually take a step back and say, well, we've probably expanded beyond our comfort zones and we're not enjoying the work anymore. We touch on this when we talk about this tension between sort of commodified, this is much later on in the course, this tension between commodifying products and services and doing more bespoke, sort of tailored work. And all of the literature says, if you're interested in the finances, you want to go more sort of commodified, more productized work. But quite a few people I've interviewed have said, well, I did that and I just got bored. I didn't particularly enjoy it. So I went back to doing more tailored individual work. Okay, so that's the solo technicians. The manager, as we said, likes a system that works predictably, and they focus on systems. Simon covers this in a bit more detail when he talks about capabilities, so how we can do this. And really shift the firm for the focus away from people-centered work to sort of system-centered work. And that doesn't mean that you're in for an easy ride, but especially now there's so many digital tools out there that can help you. You'd be crazy not to try and make your life easier by automating or outsourcing some of this. But we'll be looking in more detail about that later. And the final one is the entrepreneur. And I think we talked about that, but they tend to love growth for growth's sake. I very resonate highly with this. I love starting things up. I don't particularly like running things once they're up and running. Okay, so typically what you have is this technician role, somebody who's good at their job. And they need to make an active shift into both of these areas, the entrepreneurial vision and the managerial vision. I'm not sure what your strengths and weaknesses are, but most people that go start their own consulting firms, especially if they come from the Big Four or a larger consulting firm, they're very good technicians. But, and I get this quite often, is when they move to start up their own firm and suddenly they don't have that infrastructure behind them. They don't have the people to do the sales and pass the work on to them. They don't have the people to keep the books. They don't have the people to do the finances. And that's something that a lot of very bright, able people really struggle with in the first couple of years of running a firm. And in fact, it actually causes many of them to go back into corporate consulting because they didn't realize the sheer amount of work and administration that you have to do to be successful as a consultant.